71 days till Donald Trump becomes president. What can Joe Biden do in those days to help Ukraine? Elisabeth Braw is the senior fellow with the Atlantic Council, joins us now. Elisabeth, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Donald Trump says he'll end the war. No one's entirely clear what that actually means. He's spoken, I think, to Putin, according to some reports. I guess people fear he will withdraw support from Ukraine to some extent. Is that the working assumption, do you think?
Yes, it is, especially since one of his strategists said yesterday that Ukraine has to accept that it will lose Crimea. But then the Trump campaign very quickly distanced itself from those comments. So it is a working assumption. But then again, Trump is unpredictable. That is his trademark strategy in foreign policy, and it seems to work for him. Because it keeps everybody guessing, and that helps him have that element of surprise. But what could he do other than pressuring Ukraine to give up Crimea and essentially force them into a negotiated peace deal? But that is a working assumption. I would be keen to see what other surprises he may spring on us.
What's the role of Biden for the next couple of months? Because Trump is coming in, as we say, with everyone who's reading the room say he's going to withdraw support to whatever extent from Ukraine. Is Biden entitled, maybe even incumbent upon him, to do more and more and more in the intervening months, or is he kind of bound to follow what his successor wants to do?
I think this is the moment for Biden. He is not bound by what his successor wants to do, simply because his successor is so different. Had it been Kamala Harris, he would have had to prepare the foreign policy and domestic policy, for that matter, of the country in such a way that she took over a steady ship. And that is clearly not going to be the case. So this is his opportunity to do all the things he never dared to do when it comes to Ukraine, simply because he has no responsibility towards his successor. And everybody worldwide, I think, or at least in the Western world, worries about what will happen to Ukraine when Donald Trump takes over. So this is 2 months for Biden where he can provide all the help he always wanted to provide, but felt constrained about for various domestic political reasons.
And that might include storm shadows. That might include ramping up the armament of Ukraine, if only for the first couple of months. Give them at least a head start on the Trump presidency.
Indeed, the only constraint there is that in certain cases he needs Congress to work with him, or he needs permission from Congress. But even so, he can essentially work at full speed with maximum pressure to get the things done that he always wanted to do. And I think that is the glimmer of hope for Ukraine, that these 2 months will see more US action than has been the case for the past couple of years.
I don't know if you saw the story about Elon Musk was on the call with Donald Trump and Zelensky. So it was Zelensky, Trump and Musk. What do you think of Musk's influence on all of this, on foreign policy, on policy like towards Ukraine with Trump? What sort of role might he play?
He's a maverick. He is also somebody who is clearly a genius when it comes to building companies. But the disadvantage that comes with being a genius is that you believe you're a genius in every area. And I think that is the challenge or the problem of having Musk involved in policymaking. He thinks that he understands everything better than everybody else and doesn't realize it's a famous case of he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And to have him involved in policy matters that go beyond his expertise is very risky. And when it comes to Ukraine, there are real implications of having Musk involved on matters that he are not within his area of expertise. Who knows whether that will continue, whether he was just there for the courtesy call, but he clearly is very close to the president and played the president-elect and played a key role in helping get him elected, which suggests that Trump will want to reward that loyalty.
Yeah, but the notion of him being involved in a conversation with two world leaders, despite being unelected himself, does give you pause at least for a second, doesn't it? Elisabeth, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us. That's Elisabeth Braw, that senior fellow with Atlantic Council, talking about what Biden can do. He knows his time is short now. Will he ramp up support for Ukraine ahead of Donald Trump getting into the White House?
And just the idea of, we were very struck by it this morning, weren't we, of Elon Musk in the room when that phone call was made. I mean, that's surprise. Is that surprising? Surprising to me.
And is it the future? I mean, these are world leaders, and they've got security clearance, and they've got what level of power will he be given as a quid pro quo? It is extraordinary. And the more you think about it, the more I think this is why Musk bought Twitter. This is what Musk wanted, and because of buying Twitter, because of doing a deal with Donald Trump of whatever sort, he really is now the third most powerful man in the world. And he's working alongside the second most powerful. I mean, God knows what they can do together.
Yeah. 6:30.
Why did you decide to meet?
I think it's me.
Both of you.
Both of us. Okay, thank you so much. First of all, it's very important to share all the plan, all our steps, how we can strengthen Ukraine. And of course, we have to decide it now. Because after November, we don't know who is. Only Americans decide who will be the president. But we understand that till November, we can't stop Putin. We have to do it. We will try on the battlefield with our heroic soldiers. But we understand that after November, we have to decide. And we hope that the strength of United States will be very strong, and we count on it. That's why I decided to meet with both candidates with all honor for them. Thank you.
Embarrassment to the history of this country, and I say Putin would not have gone into Ukraine if that didn't happen. When he saw the incompetence of Milley and all these guys that are incompetent, when he saw that happen, when they took out the soldiers first, You know, if you go back and check your records, for 18 months I had a talk with Abdul. Abdul was the leader of the Taliban, still is. But I had a strong talk with him. For 18 months, not one American soldier was shot at.
Гуманитарная кризис. Помочь возвращению беженцев своим армиям. Для результативного сотрудничества по сирийскому сюжету у нас есть все необходимые условия. Ты понимаешь, что российские и американские военные